Aloha, everybody. This is Tiggy Maximus with Tiggy Maximus Talks, episode 101 on YouTube. Thank you guys for making it this far, if you have. And I appreciate all you followers, listeners. And if you haven't already, there's a spot on Spotify, if you listen to the episodes on Spotify as well, where you can make a small donation to this podcast. If you do, it's fully appreciated. Thank you guys for that and for listening if you have. I just want to get on here pretty quickly, kind of talk about some recent stuff, comedy show, some action in basically rugby, some Padres action. So let's start with the comedy show I went to on Saturday. It was at the Bastards Canteen up in Temecula. The headliner was Rachel Dee. I did see Steph Tehran at the show. The show was actually hosted by Dick Salas. So the guy was like a former military guy, and he's been doing comedy. So I decided to go to the show because I wanted to see Steph and I wanted to see Rachel. So I drove up, and it's a nice place off the freeway. If you're on the 15 freeway, it's like right off the 15 freeway. And you get close to the Bastards Canteen. So I go in, check in. It's a great staff, actually. I got to talk to Sophia and Kayla. They were great at just, handling my chill vibe and my very, my Bastards burger, which is basically like Wagyu beef. Very thick piece of beef with veggies, no cheese. I had it with tater tots, but with the tater tots, I got to put in like bacon bits and jalapeno bits. Actually, I think I could have done it without the jalapeno bits because it was a little hot, but just enough for me to finish. Crazy thing about this burger though, so I would say the burger itself, it's like an 8.8, but the reason why it wasn't like a 9 or a 10 is because, well, the bun was already compromised by the meat, the barbecue sauce. So basically I couldn't actually hold the burger all in one hand. It was already starting to come apart, but I was able to finish it, which is pretty great. So yeah, those were good. The tater tots was actually pretty good too. A little spicy because I actually didn't take off the jalapeno bits, but it's okay. The tater tots, I believe, was like an 8.5 out of 10. Let's see what else. The first person that went up, after I actually got to talk to Corey Baldwin, Steph Tehran, Rachel Dee, Dick Salas, and Gadil Orb. So I got to talk to all of them before the show, and then so Dick had to set up everything, the audio, the mic, and everything. And well, it's really nice talking to them, and I introduced myself. And show started with Dick. Dick went on to do his stand-up. This is actually meant for like a comedy for a cause. Save the Brave. So would say that Dick's stand-up was kind of interesting though, but the crowd was a little more grossed out by this one part that he talked about. He said that when he was in the military, and there's some people that would do anything to get out of doing the service, but he had an interesting one to tell. He said it was a true story. So it must have been this one guy who's been willing to do anything to get out, and Dick Salas saw this guy use the open toilet that's in the middle of all the cadets or all the like soldiers, and what was basically the guy had tried to take a poop, and as he was pooping, apparently from how Dick Salas told it is that this guy had reached down, grabbed his poop, and he started to eat it. And Dick Salas had to report it to his, I guess, to the commanding officer. And the commanding officer was in shock and demanded to see it in person. And, well, I guess the guy got discharged for eating his own poop as a way to get out of serving. And Dick Salas says like he wish he can do that kind of thing when you write a ticket, and all you gotta do to get out of a ticket basically is to try to poop in front of the officer so he doesn't have to tackle you, arrest you, or have anything to do with you because you're pooping in front of the officer, and you might get off from getting a ticket apparently. But aside from that, he mentioned that he was a Raiders fan. He took off his glasses and hat to kind of show the difference of him wearing glasses and a hat versus him not wearing glasses and a hat. So you would think that without it, he looks like a gangster or a cholo, but with it, he looks like someone that I guess could help you out with doing some homework or something. So yeah. But overall, I thought that his set didn't get a lot of reaction though, honestly. So I would say his set, I would basically say that it's a 7 out of 10 for how his set went. So about to get some Panera hot tea because I already paid for the whole month. All right. So yeah. 7 out of 10 for Dick Salas first comedy. First time seeing a guy perform, but he's a cool guy. He's very humbled actually after I talked to him. Let's see. The next person that went up was Corey Baldwin. My first time seeing the guy, and he's a cool guy. He talked about, even though he looks black, but he says that he doesn't have a lot of black in him according to his 23andMe. So he called himself like diet Negro or diet black, because apparently according to his thing that he was part of like other races and stuff aside from being some black, but he basically is not full black apparently. So he kind of ran with that, and but at the same time, I think he didn't get a lot of laughs either. He got some, but he didn't get a lot. So I think it was just based off how he set up himself for his jokes. But overall, he's a cool guy though. Um, he did talk about how females in different races, how they take penises or how they take dick. Um, he started with um, I think he said like how Asian women how they take penises during sex versus how Latinas take dicks in sex, um, and then compared it also to Caucasian women how they take penises during sex, and then I guess also black women too how they take dick during sex too. So he went with that. So that was pretty much his two most popular bits that he did. But yeah, we talk after the show. He's a pretty cool guy, and maybe I'll see him down the road. Um, Next up, I believe we have Steph Tehran. Um, she's interesting. This is actually my I think my third time seeing Steph Tehran. Um, she has her bit about um, how she talked about giving 69, how it's usually um, you know the guy is trying to suffocate her with the penis in her mouth, and um, she was emphasizing the fact that nobody likes to do 69 unless you're the one receiving or something. So um, because apparently women don't like to suffocate, and she can attest to that. So, she talked about how you ever notice that women should always be ready to be on the run because you never know what kind of guy you run into. Especially that's why women are training on the treadmill to be able to run fast if a situation comes up where they need to run away from the guy. So, you know, she tells like, "Hey guys, if you ever see women inside the gym on the treadmill, they are training to run away." So like, let that kind of sink in. But she got some laughs. She was a little funnier than Corey and Dick Salas. So I would say Steph Tehran's comedy, I would say is like a 7.5 out of 10. Next up was Gadia Orb. He's been around a lot. He's been showing up in different platforms, and he had a bit where he talked about how a female came up to him and said that I think you're the father, and then he said to the lady, well, to make sure, let's do a paternity test. So he took two different ones. The first one that he took says that he's 99% the father, but the one that he took from Amazon says that he's not the father. So when he heard the term 99%, that kind of tells him that there's a 1% chance that he's not the father. Um, so he talked about that, and he talked about stuff about pinatas. So, um, but yeah, his bit about the 99% thing, and then um, that it was pretty funny. So I would say Gaudia, his set was a let's say an 8.3 out of 10. And then we come to our headliner, Rachel Dee. I've seen her quite a few times now. Um, she had a lot of old jokes in hers, and then there's probably one new one. It was her talking about her childhood and how she grew up, and how, when they went to watch the movies together as a family, I guess Rachel and her mom had to ration food while two of the members of the family had to save seats and bring their jackets to kind of help save seats. And I guess the dad had to find good parking, I guess. So they all had their duties. That was always how they did movie night together. So it's kind of nice how she talked about that. And it turns out Rachel's going to be moving to Phoenix to be closer to the mom and dad because she met a guy living in Phoenix and has a home, owns a home. So I guess maybe this might be the last time I'll see Rachel D. Um, Overall, I actually thought Rachel D's performance was a 8.4. Um, she has some good bits about talking about, you know, that she can't take a compliment, how she got fired from her teaching job. She made a joke about being horny and 40, and it feels like she wants like an 18-year-old inside her. And then, like, basically, I got fired for saying that I wanted to be having sex with an adult. So, um, other than that, she talked about how, her one egg has like a walker, and then says like these two girls up in LA said ew when she said how old she was. She's turning 46. Um, but yeah, she had a fun set. I enjoyed it. And of course, I talked to everybody after the show except for Good Deal. Good Deal, I talked to before the show started, so at least I got to you got to talk to everybody on the lineup. Um, so I had a good time. I wouldn't say it was one of the best shows I've seen because I think there was a lot of like dead time. Not everybody was laughing, but you know, I'm familiar with two of them, and I got to hear Gadil, Corey, and Dick perform as opposed to already seeing Steph and Rachel. Um, the San Diego Padres. Wow, they took 2 out of 3 from the best team in baseball, the Tampa Bay Rays. After they lost the Friday game, the Padres came back and won Saturday. Um, I think they won Saturday, like I think it was 2-0, and then they came back and beat the Rays 5-4 on Sunday. So 2 out of 3. 2 out of 3 ain't bad. Um, let's see. Yesterday, I had the pleasure of seeing the San Diego Legion rugby team, the top level rugby team. Apparently, San Diego Legion is number one in the country in the league. They won yesterday, 40-19, to finish the season 15-1 at home. And the Legion was they pretty much dominated, scoring a lot of tries for 5 points. There were basically 2 tries. All they had to do was cross the line, basically for a touchdown, as the equivalent, as they would say. If they were to make a touchdown, but you had to run between the poles, that was already a full 7 points. If you happen to make a try outside of those posts, it's 5 points. But you get a 2 point try, but you have to kick it at an angle from the left or right side of the post, and you're supposed to kick it through. If you make it through, you get 2 points. So you get a full 7 points for that try or touchdown. So really only one time the Senegal Legion missed one on a kick. But other than that, the way they just scored basically 6 touchdowns or 6 tries. Pretty impressive. Sometimes they kind of ran away with it, and then when they kept doing the lateral tosses, and they did it so in sync that they found the right guy open, and San Diego kept scoring and scoring. And it did a good job shutting down the Seattle Seawolves most of the night. It's two 40-minute halves, and San Diego dominated both halves, basically. Kudos to San Diego Legion. I had a good time. I actually brought my friend Kennedy and his two sons, Ben and Edison. Um, so San Diego finished number one in Major League Rugby and number one in the West. So the playoffs start next weekend. The number two seed, Seattle Seawolves, will be playing the number three seed of the West, the Houston SaberCats. Winner of that 2 versus 3 matchup will face number one San Diego in San Diego for the West Championship, and will play for the right to be in the final for Major League Rugby on July 8th, which will be broadcast on Fox. On the other side, you got the New England Free Jacks. They're number one. They finished the season 14-2, one game behind the San Diego Legion, who finished 15-1. And I think they're going to represent um, the East because I think it's like Old Glory, New York, or something. We'll be playing against uh, what is it? Well, I don't remember the team actually. Main thing is 2 versus 3 matchup. One of them is New York, and the other I think might be Orlando or something. I don't know. But the winner will, whoever wins that match will play against the number one of the East, the New England Free Jacks. So that might be our stiffest competition, and that's gonna be next weekend. But San Diego would need one more victory to get into the final, but they need 2 victories to win the whole thing. Same for the New England Free Jacks. I kind of hope it's the New England Free Jacks going up against the San Diego Legion for the championship, and this could be the year for the San Diego Legion. First major championship for the San Diego City. I mean, aside from the San Diego Soccers. So, let's see. Uh, Overall, the game was pretty fun and a lot of things to see. Kind of walking around at Snapdragon Stadium, and I think Kennedy had a good time, and the kids too. And it's nice having some company watching the game. So who knows? I might be tuning in for the playoffs, and hopefully the San Diego Legion will bring home the trophy. Go Legion! Um, well, yeah, and before the game started yesterday, I did happen to try out the fish taco and the pollo asado tacos from Rigoberto's in Miramar. Both were pretty good, really big. The fish taco, I would probably say it was 8.7 out of 10, and the pollo asado, that was like 8.8 out of 10. Really good stuff. Glad I went. Um, and then afterwards, I actually had stopped by Tim Key Noodle in Mira Mesa. Got myself the wonton barbecue pork egg noodle soup. That was pretty good. It was an 8.9 out of 10. I was really full after eating all that stuff before I went to the Snapdragon Stadium to watch the San Diego Legion beat up on the Seattle Seawolves. But it's worth it. Uh, well, guys, I'm going to be paying attention to the NBA draft on Thursday to see history. Victor Wembanyama will be probably selected number one by the San Antonio Spurs, And for the next few weeks, you get to figure out how the Lakers are going to upgrade their team, who they're going to sign, who they're going to trade, who they're going to draft. So that should be a fun next few weeks. And then um, going to the comedy show on Saturday, Bijan and Frankie V. They're doing a show at the Good Bar in Point Loma. I intend to go. And nice to see Frankie V again, and also nice to see Bijan do some stand-up comedy together separately, and should be kind of cool talking to them, catching up with them, and see what's up. Um, so yeah, and then uh, I could be looking at a second show for this week, but let's do it with one show for now and see what's on the calendar and make my schedule outside of work. So other than that, right now Padres are playing the San Francisco Giants. Giants are on a hot streak, one of the hottest teams in baseball. The Padres come into San Francisco and they're going to try to go head to head with this team. And I gotta say, it's a four-horse race in the National League West division. Colorado Rockies are not in it, but they can spoil if they could. But right now, the Arizona Diamondbacks are in first place. I think the LA Dodgers and San Francisco Giants are fighting for second place and third place. And the Padres are behind them in fourth place. And the Colorado Rockies are in fifth place. What's interesting to note is that the Cincinnati Reds are getting hot. And they've already got themselves over 500 after starting so slow. But they have their new sensation rookie, um, Yella Cruz. Um, Other than that, I mean, it's going to be an interesting next few months for baseball. See who comes out of it the best. Um, so yeah. Uh, oh yeah, I did get to watch the main event of UFC Fight Night: Cannonier versus Vettori. Uh, Cannonier won by unanimous decision, and it just so happens Jared Cannonier broke the record for most significant strikes in a middleweight fight in history. He got 241 significant strikes in the fight. That's a new record for any middleweight in history. So I gotta admit, Marvin Vettori got an iron chin. Couldn't go down. Nobody's finished him yet. But a great victory for Jared Cannonier. Can't wait to see what happens next. Maybe a title shot, or he fights a guy to get to the title. So we'll see. Um, well, guys, that's it for me. Thank you for listening. Remember to subscribe, follow, like, and if you feel like doing it, you can make a small donation on the link provided on Spotify for this episode. And anything's appreciated. If you listen to an episode, that's great. I fully appreciate that. If you like to donate some money, I appreciate that too. Alright, guys, this is Tiggy Maximus signing off. Make sure you have some good food, good company, watch some good shows and good action, and I will talk to you guys later soon. Right, guys. Booyaka.